So I'm home. We're all quarantined. So let's talk about books. So at the beginning of this whole corona fighting and world scenario stuff, um, I had just recently been able to start working from home, thankfully, and it was day two. It was like partway through day two, and listening to everything that was on the news and the internet, and I had a panicked moment of book buying. So I ended up buying about 6 books that maybe I didn't necessarily need, but at that very moment, yes, I did need them. They're supposed to be coming soon-ish, so I can show them off when they do eventually get here. Um, I don't know if anyone else had that experience of just entirely um, breaking out and desperately needing to find some solace in books. Um, I also did that in a sense of finding comfort reads for right now. Usually my go-to comfort read would be the first Harry Potter book. I actually haven't picked that one up yet, but that's normally what I gravitate to is that one or Hamlet for some reason. I don't know why. But this time, the book I reached for instead is actually a play, and it is called The Skin of Our Teeth by Thornton Wilder. I saw it performed when I was in high school, and we ended up reading it when I was in college for the second time, and I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of fourth wall breaks in it, and the humor is pretty on point, but the wisdom behind it and a lot of the themes that are discussed within feel pretty on point right now, when it feels like it's possible that everything is going to hell. So if you are looking for something that's maybe a little bit comforting but also has some laughs in it, I would suggest maybe reaching for that. This year I have a pretty big TBR. For the past 3 years, I've had fairly big TBR. Tendency to buy a lot of books or borrow books from people, and then I just kind of amass them and never actually get around to reading them, or I read them very slowly. So I've been trying to kind of get down on my number of books. That has not worked because I tend to go off script and end up reading books that I find online or something entirely different. But I'm trying very hard to stick to the list this year. Of course, that's not really working, as, like I said, I panic bought like 6 more books, so that's kind of going off script there. But um, I'm working on it. I have about 6 books on the list. This month has been pretty slow going just because I haven't really been in the mood to read as much. But I do have my books that I'm currently in the middle of, and I can show you this. This stack is my shame. These books are all of what, I'm currently in the middle of and have either paused for reasons or I'm actively reading. So I guess we'll just go down from the top because this is heavy. So the first book that I am actively reading is Equal Rights by Terry Pratchett. This is part of the Discworld series. And as you can see, I'm almost done with it. I'm on page 212. And yes, I have been actively reading this, or I was actively reading this before everything went to hell several days ago. So that I'm working on. The next book is one of my friends lent me as this series. It is the Seven Waters trilogy, I believe, and this is the first book, Daughter of the Forest by Juliet Merlier. I'm just within the first couple of pages. I don't really know much about it other than it is a fantasy and it is based off of a fairy tale that I think I remember reading before with the six or seven swans. I forget what the tale is called, but it has to do with six or seven swans. So that's that I'm starting. Then I'm also kind of actively reading this, the Canterbury Tales. I am still in the Knight's Tale, which is pretty near the beginning. I've been wanting to read this for a very long time because I heard it's very funny. However, um, I'm not really laughing yet, and I'm also having a hard time getting through it just because I have to keep looking up all of the everything in the index at the back of the book, or sometimes asking Alexa, what the hell is this? If there are no footnotes for it. I mean, it's very interesting, but I haven't really, I guess maybe the only reason I haven't like thought anything was funny yet because I'm having a hard time getting through it, really. Well, I'm hoping it will improve. I've been assured that there are a couple of tales that are really good in here. So yeah, this big boy I'm probably going to be going through for a while because I only read a little bit at a time. Next up, my biggest shame, I guess, would be The House of Seven Gables by Nathaniel Hawthorne. This one I have been like attempting to finish for over a year now. Pardon me, this is falling apart. I swear it's not my fault. I tried to put it back together. I'm on page 192, and I've been trying to read this for the past couple of like Halloweens, and then I spooked myself with House on Haunted Hill and just never finished reading it, even though it's really not that terrifying, but I'm just having a hard time. I would say it's Nathaniel Hawthorne, but I remember reading Scarlet Letter and really loving it, so I don't know why I'm having trouble with this, but I am. I'll get there eventually, though. Next up is Ink Death by Cornelia Funke, or Funk. I'm sorry. So I have read the first two books a couple of times now, and I keep getting so many pages into shiny. I keep getting so many pages into this book, getting really scared for the characters and just not finishing it. So my ultimate goal of this year would be to finally finish this book. Like I've been pretty good so far, not finding out any spoilers about the series, which is a feat because it's been out for like years now. But yeah, I really desperately need to finally finish this and just put on my big girl pants and read it. So that one, I hope to get to that during the summer. This next one I am actively reading, and it is Wondersmith: The Calling of Morrigan Crow, and it's the second book in the Morrigan Crow, the Nevermore series, and where am I? I'm on page 157, and it is really cool so far. So, yep, I'm still kind of making my way through this. I do know that the third book, Hollowpox, comes out in August, I believe. So I do want to have this finished way before then, so I can get ready for that book. Let's see. Then I have another Terry Pratchett. This is I Shall Wear Midnight. It's the fourth book in the Tiffany Aching series, which is kind of like within the Discworld series as a whole. I'm on page 96, and this one I'm just kind of stalled in momentarily because this is the fourth book in the Tiffany Aching series, which is a series that I started last year and have grown to really, really, truly love. And I know once this book is over, there is only one book left in that series, and in fact, only one book left in the entirety of Discworld because it was, I believe, published posthumously after Terry Pratchett passed away. And so I'm very sad about that because when that's over, there's no more Terry Pratchett books at all. I mean, there's still plenty that I have left to read. I have to make my way through the rest of Discworld, and I know he did like one or two with Neil Gaiman, and so there's still a lot left to read, but there's like no more to look forward to, I guess is what I'm saying. Um, Also, I've heard kind of mixed things about it, because unfortunately, I don't think it was quite finished, before he passed, so I don't know. I'm holding out on this one, just, just, just cause, but, I'll get there eventually. Um, Next up is Falling for Hamlet, which is also a big shame of mine because I have actually owned this book since like junior high, which is over a decade now. Um, so I still haven't read it. Maybe not junior high, maybe sometime in high school. But Hamlet is one of my favorite plays, and my favorite Shakespeare plays, and this is like a modern retelling of it, told from Celia's point of view, and it is very interesting, but I mean, we all know Hamlet ends. This ain't gonna be pretty, so I'm just gonna pause in that. The last bit of my shame would be Outlander. Now, I really love, love, love this show. I love me some Sam Hewn. I really am enjoying this book. But I paused in here. I'm on page, what am I on? 442. And I paused in here because what I was doing was I was reading so many chapters in here and then watching the corresponding episode of the show. And that was taking me so long last year that I wasn't able to get caught up on all of my reading that I was trying to get done. So I just kind of set it aside and figured I'd come back to it eventually when I got, more caught up. And I just never did. So this is a big goal of mine, at some point, maybe this summer, fall, is to probably remind myself of what happened by watching so many episodes in the show up until this point, and then continuing on with reading those chapters, watching the episodes, and then finish. And then I do have Dragonfly and Amber and Voyager, and I will get to those. That's another year's project probably, but yeah. So that's my TBR shame. That's what I'm working on. I have a lot of reading to do, and also just a lot of just hanging out because not going anywhere or doing anything. So, hi, welcome to the ride of just being at home doing nothing. Thank you, and yeah.